person, so I decided to write a song.
How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Makeaway Podcast. I'm here with my good brother Shawn, my good brother Shiz. What's going on, my boy?
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
Not much, bro. Very thankful for you to come down. Actually, the second time here, man. I brought my boy down here not too long ago. We were supposed to shoot the episode. We shot the episode. It was great conversation, great bids, great talks. But some technical difficulties happened behind the scenes. I used the wrong SD card when I was swapping out the files and I ended up deleting the episode. But my good brother was willing to come back and talk to y'all again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. No, it's always an honor and a pleasure, man. So go, man. Tell them, man. Who are you, man? Where are you from? How'd you get introduced to football? Tell them about you. Give them your introduction story.
Absolutely. My name's Shawn Page. I'm from Upper Derby. I played football at Upper Derby High School. I played at Beverly Hills Middle School. I played at a bunch of places. Merrimack College, University of Maine, Bloomsburg University. I was first introduced to the game around 8 years old. I played for the 69th Street Wildcats in Upper Derby, just having some fun. One thing about me, I've been a lineman since birth, bro. I never played any other position besides O-line and D-line. A lot of guys, they might get some tight ends, some running back.
No.
Since a jet, bro, my hand was in the dirt, man. So, yeah, that's where we started at. After that, was able to, make it to high school, was fortunate enough to be granted scholarship opportunities. Went to Bloomsburg University for 4 years, my undergrad. COVID year came, I went up to the University of Maine, had a great experience there. It was a bit too cold for me, though, I'm not going to lie. Entered the transfer portal once again, finished my collegiate career at Merrimack College. So I played about 50 games. I think I had like 45 starts. All-star game, just illustrious career. College career was great.
And I feel like one of the things that I realized is a lot of people don't realize that one of the most important parts about picking a school is making sure that you're going to play, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you just said, you used to have 50 games, 45 starts. A lot of people don't see 20. A lot of people don't see 10. A lot of people don't see 5, bro. Like,
absolutely.
There's a lot that goes into when you're picking a school, and like you don't really know. I feel like it's damn near Russian roulette. Like you don't really know what you're gonna get until you get there.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that picking a school where you're gonna be able to be that guy. Like for me, when I was coming out, I had basically all the PSAC offered me scholarships, and I had a few FCS preferred walk-ons. But like one of the biggest things for me was not only picking a school where I was going to be able to play, but picking a school that was going to develop me. When I went to Bloomsburg, we had Coach McBride. At that time, Coach McBride had coached, as far as the O-line coach, he had coached plenty of All-Americans. He had 3 guys in the NFL at the time. He had Jaree, who just retired, Matt Fowler, who he's had a great career. I think he's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. We also had another guy, I forget his name. His last name was Clark. He was with the Cowboys. He passed away. Rest in peace to him. And then even when I transferred to Merrimack College, another thing that was on my line was when I'm going to these schools and I'm talking to these coaches, not only where am I going to play at, because at that point I'm a grad transfer, so I know I'm going to get on the field, but who's going to develop me and turn me into a professional football player? Absolutely. And that was just, that was something that Merrimack did great. Shout out to Coach Curran. He did a tremendous job with all of us. In 2 years at Merrimack, we had 4 offensive linemen get professional opportunities. I went to the XFL Orlando Guardians. My brother Clay went to the USFL with the Philadelphia Stars. Eric Brown, he went to the USFL with the Houston Gamblers. And Sam Cooper, shout out to Sam, he got a shot with the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. So just not only make sure, when you're choosing these universities, choose somewhere that you're going to get on the field and you're going to play, but also choose somebody that has a track record of developing guys at your position and getting guys to the next level.
Yeah, bro, that's extremely important, man. A lot of guys don't really have a checklist of exactly what they want from a coach and what they want from a program, and they just go in place. Oh man, they got the best drip. Oh man, they got 300 people in their band. Oh man, the NIL bags is the thing now. Oh yeah, they giving me 10 grand. Listen, bro, what is that 10 grand gonna do for you in the grand scheme of things, bro?
Exactly. Yeah.
You on the outside of school now. You already know, as much as 10 grand would be for you in a single moment, you know how much of your responsibilities add up to 10 grand. Like that like it don't get you too far as an adult. So don't think about I'm 18, how much 10K is for me now. You feel me?
Absolutely, yeah. When you choosing these colleges, you definitely need to make a business decision. And another decision that I'm seeing guys make rationally instead of thinking it through is people that's going to universities that's getting them on the field immediately. One thing that I struggled with when I was going to college was the thought of being redshirted. I was redshirted, and then when that time came, I was able to get an extra year and play 6 years due to COVID. But one thing that colleges always say is you're going to be a better player for us at 22 than you are at 18.
Every single time.
I didn't really grasp that. I didn't understand that concept. But when I'm looking back on it, if I would have played when I was 18, by the time COVID hit, my career would have been done.
Cooked.
And those last 1 to 2 years, 18 months that I had due to COVID, I developed so much as a player, as an offensive lineman, and as a man. So, along with what we was talking about earlier, with going somewhere that develops people at your position, you need to also go somewhere that really has a plan for you. We see these guys, they go to this school, they stay there for a year, then they transfer, or they go to that school and they there for 4 years and they never play. You need to go somewhere where they got a plan for you and you got a plan for yourself, and those plans need to match and align.
And I specifically remember why the transfer portal was created. So the transfer portal was developed because they found it unfair that when a coach got fired or when a coach left to go to another school, that a player was trapped at a school with coaches that didn't, that didn't make promises to them. Because, let's say, at school X, the coach gets fired, and now, they're all in shambles. You don't know who the coach is going to be till February, March. You got a year left, whatever have you.
Right.
And you're not a grad student. You can't just up and leave.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You used to have to get a permission to contact, and you had to sometimes appeal if you wanted to go in conference, whatever have you. But it came to a point where they're like, yo, we need this transfer portal because when kids get stranded at schools because of fake promises that coaches make or that their money situation not right, let's say you're a PWO at a school and you're there for 2 years and you can't afford it and you're trying to transfer now because you're trying to go transfer down to get more pay. The reason why people needed the transfer portal is because you needed a legal way to be able to transfer so you could be able to get on the field.
Right.
Nowadays, I feel like guys is using the transfer portal sometimes, not always, as a cop-out.
Right. And I was going to ask you that. What's your take on the transfer portal?
I feel like it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It gives coaches the opportunity to get better faster.
Okay.
So I feel like, if coaches use the transfer portal properly, it's important. But I also see it as, I feel like guys need to really realize that it's a lot that goes into transfer, man. The grass ain't always greener on the other side, bro.
Right.
I know a lot of people that jumped in that transfer portal and drowned, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, as somebody who was in the transfer portal 3 different times, I was fortunate enough to get scholarships every time I went. I was fortunate enough to rise up a level as far as playing from Division II to Division I. I see, like you said, a lot of dreams die in the transfer portal. It's a lot of guys who they go in the portal thinking, like you said, the grass is green on the other side. And, young guys that's watching this, if you think about transferring, I'm never going to tell you to not chase your dreams. Just make sure that you evaluate all possible options and all opportunities, because it's a bunch of players in the transfer portal that don't have a home. So if you have a home and you just got to wait your turn or you got to get a little better, it's nothing wrong with that. We see the transfer portal as a way for guys, like you said, to be able to go somewhere else and experience new. But also, don't use the transfer portal as a cop-out to try and cheat the process, because 9 times out of 10 it ain't going to work for you.
Yeah, bro. For example, perfect example. Let's say you come out of high school, you're 18 years old. You come out of high school, you go to a school, you feel like the school was beneath you, whatever. You get to the school and you red shirt, right? Now, it's been 2 years since you played. A lot of schools already probably didn't recruit you because they were unsure about this, unsure about that. If you go to a school and you red shirt and now you're like, oh man, they playing with me, they ain't put me in the game. By the time you transfer, it's been 2 years since you took a snap in the real game.
Exactly.
It's been what practice film is not enough.
Who checking for you?
Practice film is not enough, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 75% of the time, if you're one of those guys, you're going to transfer down because they're going to be like, why didn't you play there?
Or you're going to get lost in the portal.
You're going to get lost in the portal, bro. You're going to end up, you're going to go from D3 to, you're going to go D2 to D3, D3 to JUCO, maybe D2 to JUCO, but you're not going to be able to just bounce to another school that easily, bro.
Yeah, and we seeing guys that go D2 to being in the portal and not having a home.
Back to the streets, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time, bro. So I always tell people, man, don't just jump in that portal. Make sure you get a good evaluation of yourself and your level of talent. Absolutely. I feel like that's a big thing. A lot of guys, especially if you're a reserve, if you're a guy that isn't a legitimate starter, that's like on the verge of minutes, that's fighting with the guy beneath you every day, you think you're gonna go somewhere else and start?
And I'm glad that you said that, because that's what people don't understand. Yeah, these coaches, when you're in the transfer portal, these coaches will tell you, we want you, you got a spot here, this and that. But 9 times out of 10, those same reasons that you left your previous school is going to happen at your next school. So if you was a guy who you was fighting for minutes as a starter, you was a reserve, you couldn't get on the field, when you go to that next school, when you transfer, it's going to be a guy there that is the starter. So once again, you back at square one. You're going to have to fight for minutes. You're going to have to grind from the bottom to the top again. Like, the transfer portal isn't the end-all, be-all. Like, if your situation is a situation where you need to grind, you need to continue to develop and get better, there's nothing wrong with waiting your turn and trusting the process and growing through the process.
Yeah, bro. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the process, having to really find out who they are, how much better they can get where they are. Because, like, perfect example, man. I went to school for 5 years. Let me see. I played I played offense. I played defense. I had a different position coach every single season of football that I was playing. But the most consistent coach I had around me, Coach Nickel recruited me out of high school. He was the offensive line coach at Lock Haven the whole time I was there. And I'll tell you, bro, from 2016 to 2018 while I was there, I think he had like 6 to 7 all-conference awards, 3 to 4 All-Americans. Like, the man knew how to put offensive linemen together. He had the sauce for the small undersized tackle, the big fat guard, the center that can't really move. He had a way to develop every single position.
Yes, sir.
Like, I literally remember going from defensive line, switching over to offensive line, and Bill Nickel being able to get me right and teach me everything that I need to know. That when I transferred, literally, like, after I switched over to O-line, the coaches over there was like, you look like you've been doing this for the past 3 years. You sure you ain't play O-line for, like, full-time since high school? I was like, yeah, I played 1 year O-line. That was last year for real. Like, but it really came down to the fact that this man really knows how to develop offensive linemen, bro, because it's not like these guys was, like, Ohio State transfers.
Right.
Like, because some schools get blessed with being able to get great transfers.
Absolutely.
Because they have the brand recognition, they have the name. But some schools, like, back in my day at Lock Haven, they really had to get recruits, bring guys in that sometimes was like boomer bust guys or developmental guys or big size guys or undersized guys, whatever. But Coach Nickel really knew how to develop his guys, bro.
Absolutely.
All of his dudes ended up being long-term college starters, bro.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Coach Nickel. Definitely a great coach. I spoke with him plenty of times. Spoke to him when he was recruiting me in high school. I spoke to him throughout the transfer portal. He's definitely one of those O-line coaches that knows what he's doing.
You know what I mean? So I just give it to him, bro, because like I said, bro, I've had other O-line coaches, bro. I've seen, like, the way other coaches coach, and I just always dwell back to our bet. Bill taught me this. And it saves you so much, bro, because everything that he taught, I felt like really was connected to something, or it was for a reason. Okay, I teach you to have your hands here for a reason, because when you go back, you got the good hand carriage already. Okay, I teach you to take this step this way, because then your body, because the weight of your body is gonna pivot in this direction. It's gonna always, like, he's gonna tell you the science behind everything
Absolutely.
he's teaching you.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that's the way I learn.
Me too.
You know what I mean? So I don't like when the coach just tells you, okay, when you're a receiver, put your left foot up and put your hands here because this is the way I was taught and we're militaristic. No, tell me that this is the way I do it, because this is the way the guy at Ohio State does it, and he produces all the best
Tell
receivers.
me how it's going to translate into my game.
Tell me how it's going to get me better. Yes. Yes, bro. And I feel like that's extremely important. And that's why I be so happy about the fact that coaching and football in general is getting better.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Tell me about your best tell me about your best college football memory in game.
Okay. Yeah, one of my best college football memories was, this was back in my Bloomsburg days. We were playing Shepherd. This was Shepherd's first year in the PSAC, and I believe at the time Bloomsburg, this is one of our down years, so we was probably on the cusp of about a 4-6, 4-7 season. And Shepherd, they were actually number 1 in the PSAC. I think they were like 8-1, 9-1. They were going to the playoffs. They were going to the PSAC championship. We were actually the last game that they had before the PSAC championship. So I know my guys, I knew how we was coming. We hadn't had the success that we wanted at that time, but we knew it go through us. Like, if we ain't going to the playoffs, y'all ain't going either. Like, that was how we was carrying it. So, we went out there. We fought a great fight. I think at this point the game was like tied up, or we was down a touchdown late in the second quarter, right before halftime. We have been running screens all season. Screen game was just not there. We call it screen versus Shepherd. Man, I tell you, they brought a blitz right into the screen. So as soon as they come, We pick it up for a second, let it go. The running back get out behind us. I see my center. I see Big. He pointing out his guy. He go get him. Shout out to Big. I'm running behind him. I got my hand on his back. I'm just looking for work. I see the safety. My running back, Feast. Shout out Feast. Feast right behind me. I see the safety. It's about 5 yards into the end zone. Me and him lock eyes. We made a business decision. I ran him smooth the fuck over, man. That was probably my favorite football memory, bro. We scored on it. It was one of them plays where, like, me, the center, the running back, we all in the end zone. Like, everybody was in the end zone. Like, we was on the type time, like, if it's just y'all in front of us, we not going to not get into that end zone. Like, I smell the end zone. Like, I need that. So, yeah, that's probably, like, that's one of them plays that's going to ring home for the rest of my life, man.
Mm-hmm. And see, what's good about that is, you know, you look at that situation like, damn, we're going to win.
Absolutely. I think that offensive football is the ultimate team game. I heard Cam Newton say this one time, like, if I'm the left guard, I can't do my job unless the center get the football to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm a receiver, I can't do my job no matter how many moves I make, no matter how much shaking and baking. If I'm wide open, I can't make a play unless the quarterback get the ball to me. If I'm the running back, I can't do nothing if my O-line not blocking for me. So offensive football is the ultimate team game, and being an offensive lineman is no more selfless position in all the sports.
Yeah, bro, because it's one of the only ones that, until Pancakes started getting recorded a couple years ago, like, it wasn't even any official stats.
Absolutely, yeah.
Besides, like, sacks giving up. Like, the only stat that we're known for as an offensive lineman is the mistakes we make.
It's negative, exactly.
Like, every other position, touchdowns, yards, receptions, whatever. Only stat that you get as an offensive lineman is, oh, he got baked.
Absolutely.
So, I love to see the fact that offensive line play is developing. Offensive linemen is more athletic, more explosive. People, oh my gosh, he's a robot. Why is he 300 pounds that can run a 4.9? I love seeing that, bro.
So let me ask you this then. Mm-hmm. Who your top 5 O-linemen in the game right now?
Top 5. Oh, I love this one. All right, bet.
Any position, too. It can any position.
All right, bet. Number 1 is Trent.
Absolutely.
Trent every time. I'm always going with Trent. Number 2, I'm going Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson, the Stonewall. He's been one of the best tackles in all of football for years. So I'm going Lane Johnson, number 2. Number 3, what's buddy name? Quentin Nelson. I'm going Quentin Nelson, number 3. Quentin Nelson, number 3. Quentin Nelson is just a dog. Like, he's one of them players where I sat down and watched his highlight tape. You would have thought you watched the same play over and over for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I
feel like consistency is one of the biggest things as an offensive lineman.
Absolutely.
His steps the same every time. His pulls the same every time. His strike the same every time. It looked like the same play.
Absolutely.
Strike, fit, finish every play. It's beautiful, sir. Bro. So I got Trent. I got Lane. I got Quentin. I'm going to go Jason Kelsey, number 4.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, this is getting good. And then Zach Martin, number 5.
Okay.
And then honorable mention, I got Creed Humphrey, number 6, right behind him. I love Creed Humphrey. I like Creed Humphrey. And then, you know, you got all of the tier 1A guys, the Pinays and all of those dudes.
Right.
Tristan Wirfs, they're on the way up. Christian Darrisaw, they're on the way up. But I feel like those 5 all like stamped. I really wanted to fit Creed Humphrey, and I wanted to feel like Tyler Linderbaum in there because they were real nice. But
yeah.
I feel like those 5, like, until they retire, they can't really get knocked off.
Yeah, that's where it is. Okay.
What's your 5? What's your order?
I like, this is in no order, like, as far as position. I like Trent. You know, Trent, that's a guy that I've been watching since I was a kid. A lot of the old linemen that I like to watch, I like to study their game, and I like to incorporate, you know, certain parts of their game. So for Trent, you know, I like the way he sets. And when he sets, I like tackles that set not necessarily on a point, not necessarily to the man, but on a point. So, like, when I played tackle, I used to always have a visual point in my mind of where I would meet the D end at. So, if I got a, let's say I got a 7 tech right there, I'm gonna look at this point right here on the wall, and I'm gonna say, all right, that's where we're gonna meet at. 3 square kicks, get right there. And I like the way Trent does that. Like, if you watch Trent versus if you watch Ryan Ramczyk, you know, they set a lot different, you know, so I just like athletic offensive linemen. So
yeah, you got the guys that like are shooting backwards.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you got Trent that just 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Trent get to his point, and if you watch Trent, another thing that I like about him, when he sets, like, they always tell you to stay square, but you can stay square while being squared up with your man. You don't always have to stay square to the line of scrimmage, because at the end of the day, if you square to the line of scrimmage and he gets your shoulder, that's ball game right there. But if you stay square to your man, facing him, it's gonna be harder for him to get that shoulder. So that's just one of the things that I picked up. But I like Trent. You know, I like Jason Kelsey. I like Shaq Mason.
Shaq Mason,
Yeah,
my
Shaq
man.
Mason's a dog, undersized guy, really real good in the pool game, get to that ball.
Shout out to Shaq, man.
Yeah, big shout out to Shaq. I like, I said Jason Kelsey already, so I got Trent, Jason Kelsey, Shaq Mason. Of course, I like Lane, you know, the Philly O-linemen are dogs. I like Lane a lot. And then for that last spot, I'm going to probably have to give it up to Big Q. I like Quentin Nelson. You know, I like the way he finishes all his blocks.
Bro,
I like
every
Jason
time.
Kelsey's just like, Jason Kelsey, he's one of my favorite players because, like, him and I, you know, we play a lot. I like to mold my game at the guys like that. That's a bit on the undersized side, but also, you know, they beat you with speed. They beat you with quickness, you know. As an offensive lineman, it's not always about just being big and strong. It's about how can I get from point A to point B faster than the reaction time of this defensive lineman, faster than the reaction time of this linebacker. You see Jason Kelsey, when he pull, it's not always a crusher block. Sometimes he pull, put his shoulder on somebody, and you see his running back go for 20, you know. So, yeah, that's my top 5 right there.
Yeah, no, man. I feel like being an offensive lineman is such a beautiful position to learn. I got a little cousin that play O-line, bro. I be trying to live through him, bro. Like, I love seeing my young boys play.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, my little brother a defensive end, and like, you know, that's like, all right, bet I get to live my first life through him.
Right.
And then, you know, I got the other young boys. Like, every time a young boy tell me, yeah, I play O-line, yeah, I play D-line. Like, yo, can you teach me how to do that? Can you teach me how to do this, bro? I be so excited. I be trying to make time out my schedule so I can do.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, man. I'm always one of them people that, like, I used to be so thankful when somebody went out their way to help me when I was a young boy.
Right.
Like, I remember every single person that did something for me, for better, for worse. Like, I'm not one of them people that count pockets. I don't count money people owe me, whatever. But when people do for me, I always remember. Like, I'm never going to look at somebody that did something good for me and say, damn, man, like, that's in the past. You feel
Right.
me? Like, I'm always going to try to think optimistically. Like, yeah, you know, we might be here. Our situation might be here. But, you know, I already know when I was at my worst, when I needed them, they went out there and did something for me.
Absolutely.
Like, it was, you know, this one gentleman, his name Ricardo. Ricardo owns a MMA gym downtown.
Okay.
You know, I needed a way to work out on Sundays. You know, I used to go to Jack at Focused Athletics. We used to have our workouts every week. And Jack used to go work out at Ricardo's gym because, you know, outside of working out with the young boys, he got to make sure he stay in the shape. He used to do his little MMA thing.
Yeah.
He actually just became a black belt.
Okay.
Now, I show up to I'm at the gym next door with Jack working out on a Saturday, and Ricky come next door. He's like, yeah, man. He said, what do you do? I said, yeah, I play football. He said, yeah, man, I wish I played football. I've been doing MMA since I was 18 years old. This, that, and the third. He told me the whole spiel.
Yeah.
He one of the top. He's like a 6th-degree black belt. He's a beast. You feel me? And he hit me up. He was like, yeah, man, like, if you ever want to come work out at the gym, you mean, let me know whenever. I went over to the gym, man. Beautiful, bro. Like, they take you right in like you one of them. But we were just talking about our favorite offensive lineman. Obviously, my favorite offensive lineman, like I said, I love Trent. Bless you. I love Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, Quentin Nelson, Jason Kelsey. Who was my 5th one that I said? Zach Martin. That was my 5. Yeah, bro. But I feel like playing offensive line is a beautiful position, man. You get to do so much. You get to learn so much. You get to play with so many good dudes. And you really have to learn how to play off of each other's strength. I remember I had my boy Ray with me my 2019 year. I was playing guard. Now, I had to practice at tackle every day because we only had the 2 starting tackles, and our coach didn't really want to play none of the ones beneath them.
Right.
So I had to play guard in the game, but in practice, I had to practice both tackles because I was the only person that really was able to switch sides.
Damn.
Yeah, so, like, I didn't even really get much rep besides, like, a couple team reps. Mm-hmm. Like, with the 2s and out, I went out and played guard with the 2s. But, like, when the 1s was out there, like, I used to have to rotate in and out with them 2 to make sure I learned both tackle spots.
So he wanted them to stay healthy.
No, he wanted them to be our 2 tackles for sure. They played every game until week 10 when we played against University of Indianapolis. But outside of that, I always played guard in the game. So I played left guard all of the games I started offensive line that year.
Was that at Lake Erie or that was at Lott?
That was at Lake Erie.
Okay.
So when I was playing Lake Erie, my left tackle is a true freshman. So if it's one thing that guys like to do, especially with like a heavier set offensive lineman, a lot of guys used to try to beat him with speed. You know, he was like 300-something pounds, man. He could take a blow and sit there with you feel me? But if it was one thing guys used to like was spinning inside or clubbing inside, whatever. Because I got the freshman guy on my side, you know, the coach used to always set the slide on our side, so I was always the inside help, bro.
Right.
So I'll tell you, bro. Every time I had the shade on my side, and I always had to make sure, all right, bet I cannot overset because I know I got an inside move coming 1, 2, 3, bow. But I loved it because it was always the cleanup.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
All right, bet, yeah. You think you about to spin? Try again. Blam, every time.
Absolutely, try again. Yeah, I like that you talked about playing off each other's strengths because I think that's what makes good offensive lines great. Like I played on some good offensive lines, and one of the best offensive lines I played on, I played next to my guy Big. Big was a center with me at Bloomsburg, so he was the center, I was the left guard, and we played probably like 3 years worth of games together. And our first year, we was learning a lot about each other, learning each other's strengths, learning each other's weaknesses and everything. But our last 2 years, like you couldn't tell me that we weren't the best setter guard combo in the league. And the thing that allowed us to do that was being able to play off each other's strengths. Like Big used to know, all right, if we got a double team, I'm gonna go into the double team hard, and you just come in enough to just clean it up. And we would do that and take guys 5 yards. Or I knew Big, he was a big guy, so he's about 330. He's solid, he's stout. So if I got a guy and I might need some help, I'll post him up. Big gonna come clean him up every time. I think that's one of the most beautiful things. Like you really get that camaraderie and just being able to, be there for your brother. Like that's what offensive line is about.
Yeah, bro, I feel like it's critical, man. And, when any physical position like that, offensive line, defensive line, sometimes it's going to come down to, man, like it's hard to really stay in good spirits and stay focused all the time because O-line a position where, like we was just talking about, it's not really too much subbing. Like, whatever the 5 guys is, like, you and Big was going to be them guys for all 3 or 4 years. It don't really be too much rotation, bro. So being a backup offensive lineman obviously is going to be a rough, it could probably take a little toll on people's mental health. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, it'd definitely take a toll on you, especially, like, the mental aspect of it.
Yeah, bro. So tell me about your thought on how mental health, crosses over with football.
Yeah, I think that mental health is a direct correlation in football. I think that, football players could be some of the best psychologists because any football player will tell you, whether you played D2, D3, D1, NFL, like anybody that's played this game at a high level, you've gone through some form of mental health struggles, whether it was performance anxiety, whether it was depression, whether it was whatever it was that you came in contact with. And I don't think that that's a part of the game that's talked about enough. You see guys that, they've been on top for so long, and then everybody wonder why they lash out. Chandler Jones or Antonio Brown, even Brandon Marshall, shout out to him because he was open about his struggles with, bipolar disorder. But I think that those that are able to navigate football from a mental health standpoint, being able to regulate your emotions, being able to sit with your depression or anxiety that you may be dealing with due to the sport that you play, due to the circumstances of the season or just the circumstances around you, being able to navigate throughout that, I think that those are some of the strongest people mentally, that we have in our society.
Yeah, bro, I feel like it's crazy, bro. Like, a lot of people don't really understand that football is a burnout, man. People look at it, oh my gosh, you're getting a scholarship, you get to play football on games, blah, 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 blah. You guys got to eat. No, we don't, man. My day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. At Lake Erie, we used to have practice on the field with pads on, head banging at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
5, 6 o'clock in the morning, bro.
I don't miss the morning practices. I don't.
Bro. Like, some schools had like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. No, bro. We didn't have the block. You used to have 5 o'clock practice and 8 a.m. class sometimes. Like, not me. Glory be to God. I was a grad student.
I ain't never had 8 a.m. Yeah, glory to God.
My class was remote, bro. But them boys, bro, imagine having to line up, play football at 5 o'clock in the morning. You get out of practice at 7:15. You got to take a shower and grab a banana and a granola bar and run over to class, bro. We don't got that luxury of waking up 2 hours before the test, being able to study the morning of and walk right into the test with a fresh mind. You're trying to remember what plays that you pull and what plays you got to take an angle set. You feel what I'm saying?
You trying to remember what plays you messed up on. You trying to, all right, well, when we go to film, I know coach going to get on me about this one, but what did I do? Just trying to navigate all that while still being a full-time student.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't realize it, bro. If you're a regular student, I look at y'all a lot differently than I look at an athlete, bro. I hate to say it, bro, but you know what I mean? I got 40 hours in my week already allotted to X, Y, and Z, bro. Meanwhile, you out here, all you got to worry about is class. Everything that you pick up is by choice, for better and for worse. So a C student that's an athlete versus a C student that's a regular student, man, I'm judging the regular student a lot
not even
more, bro.
close.
You know what I mean? I was in the job interview one day, and when I was talking to a guy, the guy even said to me, he was like, "Hey, man, at the bottom of your resume, you have on here that you are an athlete, man. You didn't really say what sport, but you did give a little bit of accolades in your career and this, that, and that." I was like, "Yeah, bro, that's one of my most memorable experiences of work I ever had."
Absolutely.
He was like, "Why do you feel like being an athlete was a job?" I was like, "Do you not know everything that we have to go through, man?"
Absolutely.
I was like, "The leadership that you have to learn, the relationship building you have to learn,
Being able to network with different demographics of people.
be with different types of people, work in different types of teams, being able to have to deal with all different types of
Being
personalities."
able to navigate your stresses, being able to take criticism without taking it to heart.
Consistent feedback every day.
Absolutely.
Coaches are grading you down to the way you take a step every day.
Every single day.
You know what I mean? We used to leave practice. Imagine having practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. You got class at 8, 9, 10. It's cool. 1 o'clock, you coming back to a meeting. It's a test every day in practice, bro.
Absolutely.
Coaches got a grade sheet for you. "Hey, bro, Shawn, you failed today. You had a 64%. You had 3 mental errors." Bro, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely.
But guess what? You got to be able to learn. You got to be able to adjust. And you got to be able to be ready because they got to be able to get those reps in you before Saturday.
Absolutely. I think that football is one of the biggest testaments to an individual's mental health, and I think that's why former athletes, all athletes though, not even just football players, but I think that's why former athletes excel in so many positions. That's why you see so many former football players, whether it's NFL players or college players, go to these other positions and get paid these big bucks. You see, the Peytons and the Eli Mannings of the world, the guys on the pivot that got their podcast going, just being able to deal with this, which is football, just being able to deal with this segment of your life and compartmentalize everything else that you're going through, whether it's your religion, your family, your schoolwork, or your work outside of football, being able to handle all those different things and navigate through so many different things while still keeping your composure, while still being a functioning man, a functioning member of society. I think that's a direct correlation to what kind of man you can be when you step away from the game. I think that shows, your character. I think that it shows your grit, your problem-solving skills, your critical thinking. You're being able to navigate stressors and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel like sports is such a I don't even know how to describe it, a pivot, a pusher. It gets you to exactly where you need to be, man. Like, just think about the fact of working in sales, right? You got to be as competitive as they come.
Right.
You got to wake up every day and earn your lunch every day. It's jobs that I have. Oh, yeah, we advertise ourselves as a $100,000 job. But what they don't tell you is $30,000 of it is a base salary and $70,000 of it is expected earnings.
Absolutely.
Expected earnings. You got to go out there and earn that.
You got to eat what you kill.
You know what I mean? So if you're going into work every single day, you can't afford. If you're feeding a family, I got a family, bro. If you're trying to feed your family, you have to be able to look at your day-to-day and be like, damn, if I don't eat, my child is hungry.
Absolutely.
And that got to be your mentality in sales, that I got to go out every day and feed my family. Because I don't know about you, bro. I couldn't be told that I could get a potential of $100,000 and be okay with the $30,000 paycheck. That's
Absolutely.
a big jump.
That's a big jump.
You know what I mean? So you really got to be able to attack your day every day. But guess what happens when you play sports? You don't have no chance to say, "Hey, coach, I don't feel like doing indies today. I don't feel like doing angle drives today, coach. I don't feel like working double teams. I don't really want to do pods today, coach. Hey, coach, I'm not gonna lie. Cuz punched me in my chest last week. I don't really feel like doing one-on-ones." You don't got the choice, bro.
You don't have the choice.
You know what I mean? You got to wake up and do it.
You don't have the option to have bad days. Like you said, if you have a sales job, you got a family. I can't afford to have a bad day. You know what I mean? Like, I got people that really rely on me and really count on me. And to bring that back, we was just talking about offensive football. I can't afford to have a bad day. I can have a bad play. I can even have a bad series, but I can't afford to have a bad day. My running back is counting on me. My quarterback is counting on me. My brother on the line next to me is counting on me to, get my job done. So I think that's a direct correlation. You can't afford to have bad days.
And that's why I feel like athletes are so far ahead when it comes to those things. And I feel like a lot of companies need to realize how valuable that 4 years experience is, because if you're playing football, it's going to be hard to land that internship at Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, because you got winter lifting. You got training. You can't just like fly out to New York for the rest of for the whole summer and then, our interns leave the week before school start. Hey, bro, but I got camp. Yeah, if you can't stay for the whole internship, you can't work for us. that hurts, man, because when he graduates, he's trying to get a good job.
Absolutely.
But he also want to be able to have a good sports career, too.
Absolutely.
I feel like both got to be able to be made possible.
I do, too.
Do you feel like the transition from one school to another was really hard for you?
I feel like the transition from one school to another is definitely going to be what you make it. You know, as athletes, when transitioning from one school to another, you already have multiple things on your mind. You have to mesh with your teammates. You have to fit into this new system, whether it be an offense or a defense. You have to perform before anything else. When you go to a new university, these guys don't know you. They got your film, but at this point, everything is about what you do. So you have to perform, along with getting acclimated to a new environment. You know, when I transferred, I left Bloomsburg. I went to the University of Maine. That's a completely different environment. So I think that the transition is definitely all about what you make it, and you're being able to adapt to your surroundings and continue to perform at a high level.
Yeah, bro. I feel like it's a very, very delicate thing, you know. A lot, like, everything has to mesh, because a lot of people don't realize it. You know, you have your friends, you have the things that you love about your school, you have your community. Some people, you know, have a girlfriend or whatever have you. When you go to that next school, bro, you're gonna have to find a whole new friend group.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to find your whole method. All right, I know when I leave practice, this is my little spot to go grab something to eat. You gotta
absolutely.
You gotta rebuild all of these
all
things.
the way over.
And it's so much different being able to come into a new school at 19, 20, 21 years old, sometimes 22, and being able to start all over, man. I'm real blessed, though. When I transferred to Lake Erie, I met some of the people that's, like, closer friends than some of the friends I had at Lock Haven, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also feel like it was the circumstance and the situation we was in, too. I walked into a team that about half of our team was transfers. It was our head coach's first full year. When he got there, he brought down the wrath of his decision, and really put fire to everybody on that team. That a lot of people, all conference people, starters and all, bro, hit the portal and left. I think at the end of that spring ball, they had no more than a couple dozen guys on that roster, bro. So when we showed up to camp in the summer, bro, I'll say about half to 2/3 of the team was transfers and incoming freshmen, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really one of those things where, like, everybody had to come in and make friends, and it wasn't like you walking into a situation where it was cliques already established.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of my homies from Lake Erie, like, we still talk every day, bro. Like, I still talk. I mean, I talked to 3 of my homies just today, and I couldn't tell you. I talked to probably one person I went to Lock Haven with today. Like,
Yeah.
actually heard his voice.
And I agree. My fault. Go ahead.
No, you all good, bro. It's one of those things where, like, you really got to be able to get blessed with good friends over and over again, because that's something that you really don't realize that you got at your old school.
And I agree. I believe that, you know, football and the transfer portal in particular, it definitely gives you a scope into what the real world is like. Because when you're in college and you're a college athlete, especially when you've been in the system for some years, you might be a junior, you might be a senior, you have a sense of community, you know, you're familiar with the surroundings. Once you hit that transfer portal, you get dropped in the middle of something all over again. Granted, it's a situation that you chose. If you're lucky enough, it's a situation that you chose, but you also have to have that same ability to get into an environment and produce as soon as possible. That translates into the work environment. You know, when you get a job, that job bring you on. They expecting you to produce. You need to make our team better. How can you add value to an organization? You know, even in a friend group or a relationship, like, everything that you do in life, you have to produce and you have to show up your best self. As athletes, we don't get that leeway to take days off. We don't get that leeway to say, oh, I'm tired today, I don't feel like it, I'm gonna stay in bed all day. And that translates into everyday life.
Yeah, bro. And it's crazy, bro. That's actually how my job is right now, man. Like, you know, I'm a consultant, so every time you turn around, I'm getting put on a different project, having to work with a different client, having to work on a different team. And I got to be able to come into the team fast, learn fast, and hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's real difficult sometimes to be able to have to come into the team. You don't really understand the dynamics of the team, the people on the team. But I'm one of those people, I'm going to knock the door down when I need help. You know, every job I had from the time I graduated school to now, I've always been the type of person that when I walk into the room, I'm that awkward guy. Hey, what's up, boss? How you doing? My name is such. Hey, boss, how you doing? My name is this. And I want to get to know everybody. I want to introduce myself to everybody. And I want to figure out as much as I can as soon as possible. Because
Absolutely.
You don't want to come in feeling like a liability, bro. You know what I mean? So I feel like I had to learn that fast, and I had to learn how to build these relationships fast, because if not, at the end of the day, they're gonna look at you and your production like, yo, bro, you're not getting things done, man. We might have to replace you.
Absolutely, and I think that's a testament that you just said that a lot of people need to listen to. Just being able to walk in a room and network with people. A lot of people, especially in our age, in our generation, everybody think they too cool or stuff is dicky. And, you know, being able to walk into a room, how you doing? My name is such and such. How you doing? It's nice to meet you. Just being able to be available to anybody that needs you. Another thing that we learn in football, and I'm sure you heard this quote too, your best ability is your availability. So when you walk into these meetings, you know, you got these high execs, you might got an ISO, a ISP, a CEO, a CO, just being available and being there, that's going to raise your stock a whole lot. That's going to make you more valuable to the company. Now they're viewing you as somebody that they can rely on. Being reliable, which is another football trait that translates into everyday life. Being reliable is another way to get you onto that field, to get you into that next level, to get you that raise at your company. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, bro. I feel like it's a beautiful thing, man. What do you? I remember after you got done, after you got done your time in Merrimack, you went through the whole All-Star game practice, and you slowly started to transition to the pro. You actually, I think it was like almost a whole year later when you got your XFL opportunity. Tell me about the day you actually got the call, from your agent, and you found out that you were getting brought onto the XFL.
So the day I got the call, it was funny because I got the call from my XFL offensive line coach. So I remember I was at work, working my job. I got off work at about 3:30, and I saw an email from the Orlando Guardians offensive line coach. He said, "What's your number?" That was all he said in the email. And then I shot him the email back, my number such and such. He also messaged me on Instagram, "Yo, what's your number?" So I shot him the number back. I called my homie Charles up. Shout out to Charles and that's my guy. I told Charles, I said, "Yeah, man, the O-line coach from Orlando just hit me up. Like, what you think it mean?" Because, at this point in time, it had been a whole year since I had any emotion, since I heard anything or played my last game. So I'm thinking, that's probably all she wrote. So I hit Charles up, "Yo, the coach hit me up. What you think?" He like, "Yeah, man, you going to get drafted." Me being me, I'm like, "Yeah, man, we'll see." I'm one of those guys. I'm never too high. I'm never too low. We'll see, man. If they call, they call. I gave him my number, though. Next thing you know, a couple hours down the line, the draft going on. So at this point, I'm on the phone with him. But you know how you try to play it like cool, like I'm watching the draft. I'm seeing them take people, but I'm like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. If they don't draft me, I don't care." But low key, I'm like, "Yo, I hope they grab." So then, the offensive line coach. Then I see the picks coming up. Now we at like the 6th round, 7th round. I was drafted in the 9th, but they call you before your round come up. So 6th round, 7th round, I'm seeing guys get taken. I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's probably runts." O-line coach called me. He like, "Yeah, man, we about to take you. We about to draft you just in the 3rd. Man, I'm like, "Yo, man, I appreciate it, coach. You ain't going to get a harder working than me." Was very excited. Shout out to the whole Orlando Guardians organization. Drafted me in the 9th round, was able to give me a pro opportunity. Grateful for that opportunity and everything that came with it. So, yeah, draft day was just a great day. I was trying to play it cool, man. So, yeah.
We was trying to play it cool, trying to play it thorough, bro.
Yeah, trying to be thorough.
No, bro, but it was a good feeling, probably, man.
Absolutely. It was a great opportunity, great experience. Just, being drafted. At that point, I had worked so hard. This is something I worked my whole life for. Since I was 8 years old, I had been grinding for this opportunity. I did pro day. I did pre-draft. I went to the All-Star games. I got an agent, did everything the right way. Sometimes, like we talk about with the process, sometimes you just got to sit back and wait your turn. Didn't get my shot with the NFL. Just sat down, kept grinding, went to a few XFL workouts, went to a couple tryouts. Next thing I know, I'm getting called, and I was still able to tell my parents I was drafted into a professional organization, that alone was something that I dreamed about for so many years. Just being able to tell my parents, first thing I did, I went into my mom's room. Mind you, the draft was late, so it was like 9, 10 o'clock. I went into my mom's room. She was asleep. I just woke her up, tapped her, and then I showed her the phone that had that I got drafted. Me and her, we just got up. We was cracking up. We was laughing. Next thing I know, I called my dad. I'm like, "Yo, Dad, man," I told him. He started laughing, man. So it was a great opportunity and a great experience.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that you're gonna be able to take with you, because at the end of the day, bro, that's a picture you're never gonna lose. That's a text message you're never gonna lose. You're gonna remember the exact feeling that overwhelmed you that day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's gonna be able to motivate you going forward. Do you feel like since then, obviously, because the season ended, you got hurt, you bounced back from the injury, now you're in full shape, no brace on you, no problem,
yes,
walking great,
by the grace of God.
You know what I mean? I'm seeing you post workouts, you in shape, look like you right back. Are you excited for the potential opportunity this coming year?
Absolutely. I'm definitely excited for the opportunity to get back out there. I got injured in training camp. So, I was doing my thing. I went down to training camp after 2 days of just OTAs type workouts, going through bags, going through drills. I went in as a 2. After 2 days of working out, I was already in a position battle for the starting nod. So, I definitely, and then I got hurt, unfortunately. So I definitely feel like it's a lot out there for me to still take. I'm still ready for an opportunity, and, I'm waiting for everything to work itself out. God willing, we back there next season.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I can't wait, bro. I was very, very locked into the XFL last year.
Yeah, me
bro.
too.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it was good football. It was in the off season. I was tired of watching basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball season was in the first 20, 30 games.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm an all year baseball guy, but I'm baseball once they hit to Father's Day. Once they get to June, July, when baseball 3 months in now,
okay.
Everybody actually being themselves.
Now
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We done knocked off the spring runts. You know what I mean? But when it comes to spring football, bro, it just warmed my spirit, bro, because it's all right, bet football's over, but I get a little bit to hold me over until NFL come back. You feel me?
And it's a great opportunity, for those guys for the guys that you knew that may not have got that opportunity or may still be grinding for that opportunity. Like, it was a couple Philly guys in there, shout out Dre Mintz, it's a bunch of guys, I can't think of them, but just a couple guys, that I knew through Philly sports that, was playing high school and we was playing high school. Or my boy Nigel, he went to Delaware, shout out to Nigel Hill. I played Nigel when I was at Maine, just guys that you knew throughout the years that football players, we all know each other through football. So just seeing, guys that you felt like deserved the opportunity, or just people that was, you feel for their grind, and you feel for their process. It's good being able to watch that.
Tell me about that, bro. Actually, one of the most common themes that I've realized is in the streets, in the city, whatever have you, people don't really like to give each other their flowers, man. Somebody, if I see you playing well, I see you post a tough clip, damn, bro, just in third, keep grinding. Yeah, you look good, just in third. Make sure you hit this when you do that. Try to build each other up because we know the struggle of what it takes to do what you're doing. But when you just out here, somebody will post a picture wearing some nice clothes or whatever have you, somebody else will send it to the group, oh, man, I think his sneak's fake.
Right.
And it's never the same amount of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is it? Maybe is it culturally? Is it just is it something in our city? What's going on? Why do you think people don't like to just see somebody doing good and be happy for them?
I think that it's definitely something based on where we from, because in Philly everything is Dickie. Everything is always you Joe as shit, or you don't know him like that, you don't fuck with him like that. And I think that that's something that we as men and as black men, we definitely need to start to counteract, because we all we got. Black men and black women, black people in general, we all we got. So if I see you doing your thing, why wouldn't I big you up? You feel what I'm saying? If it's your birthday and you posting on the gram, why wouldn't I tell you happy birthday? I had a guy, I ain't gonna say his name, but a guy I had played football with throughout the years. We had played on opposing teams and all that. And every time I would see him in the off season, we had trained together in the off season. He might be at this gym or we might be at this facility, wind up there on the same day. Dude would always act like he ain't know me. But while we was playing each other in the games, me and him would be talking shit to each other. So I'm like, dude, you know who I am. You feel what I'm saying? I see dude down at the XFL and it's all hugs and smiles and all that. Now, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold that against him, but just things like that, we gotta work on that, as a people. If I see you balling out doing your thing, bro, it's love, it's respect. I don't think you better than me, but I give you some kudos for your game. But yeah, stuff like that, we just gotta work on that as a people and as men. Because if you come from where we come from and you play the sport that we play, 95% you a black man. So why wouldn't I big you up? You feel me? You went D1, you went D2, you went D3, wherever you went, bro. You played football in college. You beat a statistic right there. You play football at the professional level, you beat another statistic. So why wouldn't I big you up and show you your love? As far as the boy that did that was crazy, but we ain't gonna trip.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we ain't gonna trip.
You know what I mean, bro? And I feel like that's terrible, bro. I really don't understand it, bro. Because I don't know about you, bro. I see somebody doing good, I'd be so happy for them every time. I vividly even remember, it was the first time I actually posted online clips on social media. He was like, yeah, bro, you play offensive line now, that's hard, bro. It's damn there. Try to do this, try to work on that. If you go into the field one day, let me know. Yada yada. But you immediately went to let me get you better.
Absolutely.
You went immediately to let me get you better and not, oh damn, bro, he down bad. Why he switched to offensive line? Or damn, bro, you know what I mean? What that didn't work out. It was straight, damn, bro, you look good, let me help you get better.
Absolutely.
Immediately.
Yeah, because why would I? At this point, you not taking nothing off of my plate. You playing offensive line, you playing football in general at this level, you doing anything positive, you already beating the odds and beating the statistic. So why wouldn't I give you your flowers? Like, I'm gonna give you your flowers now. Like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, the stuff that you doing. Like, we've been knowing each other since we was what, 15, 16. We met at the Temple Camp grinding. Like, just seeing like the men that you grew and became, bro. You got this positive impact. You got your, you got your platform and everything. Like, handling your business. Like, that's good shit, bro. Like, so why wouldn't I give you your flowers, bro? And that go for anybody that I deal with, anybody that I associate with. Like, I don't have no malice in my heart. And I don't have no hate in my heart. So I ain't even gonna exude that. I ain't gonna give off that energy. Like, if you on top of your shit, I might see a nigga, he got some fly shit on. Yeah, I ain't gonna dig eat, like, but like I might look at him from afar, like, yeah, that shit's sturdy. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? If I know you, yeah, bro, you got that shit on, bro. You look fly today. I might comment on your pic. You look fly, bro. But why be on some? Oh, he got on some fly shit, bro. Shit fake, or man, that nigga think he the shit. Like, I don't give that shit ain't hurting me. You feel what I'm saying?
It's not costing me no money for him having that on, bro.
Come on, bro.
You know what I mean? But I really always think back to every time I talk to you. So let's go back in time a little bit. I met Shiz when I was in high school. I went to the Temple camp back in high school. And the Temple had multiple camps throughout the year. I actually went to 2 senior year. And I vividly remember, like, when you get there, they got 3 different groups when it comes to one-on-ones. They got the groups of the kids that they recruited and told to come that probably didn't have to pay. They had the group of guys that been doing well all day that, like, the D1AA, the D2 coaches want to watch personally, and they got the guys that they just donated $50 that day. You feel me? That third group of one-on-ones, there's nothing going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the joint the players coaching them up.
Yeah.
You feel me? But I remember because it was that was back when, like, Hassan Reddick, Sharif Finch, Matt Iodonis, all of them was still at Temple. Yeah. So I remember when we got there, you feel me, we was inside the little dome, John.
Right.
So it was me, it was you was there, my man Charlie was there. Shout out to my boy Casey. My boy Casey was there. It was a lot of dudes there, man. That Temple camp was jumping a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a lot of guys there.
But one of my biggest memories, I was there with bro JT. JT was playing defensive end too, and I remember JT was like, "Hey, bro, this, that, and the third. What move you about to work?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm about to work a spin move this time, bro." I went with him twice. He still ain't stopped it, and we just going back and forth, just having the ball. And I felt like that was just football at its purest form. I say that a lot, like. Back in high school, where there's no money involved, no business. It's just fun. Where we was just going off. We was in that middle group. I snuck over to the group where, like,
I did too. Yeah,
it's the group where, like, where they
would see me for my 50 ball. I'm sliding over there.
You know what I mean? But I remember vividly. I went over. I worked my move. Matt before the rep started. Matt Iodonis. I remember him. I think he on the Commanders now. He might have been gone by now. He might be somewhere else.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
I vividly remember he was like, "Hey, man, I got 99 in the white jersey, man. He hitting y'all with everything in the toolbox." I said, "Hey, big bro, I got the spin move on me, man. Watch this." Offensive tackle was like, "Oh, man, he lying." The old lineman going back and forth. As soon as I came out the wall, 1-2, spun inside, bro. Everybody went crazy, bro. Like, it was just such a good vibe, bro. I don't trade none of that for the world, bro. And
absolutely.
I always remember them Jones like it was yesterday. I remember every camp I went to. I remember most of the one-on-ones, bro.
Yeah, and I like what you said about that being football in its purest form. Because, I mean, when we was in that moment, you would talk to the older guys, talk to some guys that might be in college, might be pro. They'd be like, "Yeah, man, appreciate that. Appreciate, where you are right now. Appreciate high school football." And when I was going through it, it went in one ear and out the other because I want to play college. I want to get to where you're at. I want to play pro. But looking back on it, like you said, it's nothing like playing with them guys that you came up with. All my homies that I got, that's my lifelong homies, we met at that time. That was when we really got real tight and real close. So it's nothing that's like one of the most precious times to me because that's what built all of us up. It's nothing that could like replace that to me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, bro. And that's just crazy because like a lot of my homies that I talk to every day is homies that I met through football one way or another. Whether it be high school, whether it be college 1, college 2, like these is all the people that like I sweat with, you know what I mean? That I really went through the ringer with. You feel me? My roommates I met through football. Like my best friends in college, like the people that's gonna be in my wedding, bro, is football, bro.
Absolutely.
The only other person there's not a direct football correlation is a cousin. You feel me? Like my son goddad is my first cousin. Like outside of him, bro, it's all football teammates. That's probably gonna be in my wedding. That's gonna be around me. You know what I mean? Because that's my boys, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I got a homie who we played up in Maine together. So like I said earlier, I was only at the University of Maine for about 6 months. He was there for that same amount of time. He came from a school when I went there, and then we both left and went to different schools. I literally ain't seen him since, but I talk to him about every day. Or another example, my homie Charles. Charles he went to LaSalle. He went to Ship. Now he down Texas. He played at SMU, and he just went crazy in the indoor. Me and Charles, we talk at least once every day. Like, that's a homie that I didn't know him besides football. Like, I met him on a visit, going to visit a college, and when we was in high school, and then we kind of kept up with each other throughout the years. But, like, yeah, that's like you said, football brought me all of my best friends. Like, I don't got a homie that I can think of that, like, I'm really close with that didn't play football.
Yeah, bro. No, football is really a beautiful thing, bro. I really appreciate the game for everything it's done for me. Everything it's continuing to do for me. All of the people it's bringing me around, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Being able to hear all of the great stories like this, man, I'm really thankful for everything football is, man. I really thank you for coming down here today, especially after everything, man. Being able to come down here and talk to the people and give them some game, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna throw the footage for this right in the computer as soon as we leave here to make sure it don't go nowhere. You feel me? But you know what I mean, bro. Really appreciate you again. Listen, guys, I've been trying to translate over to season 2. I really want to be able to get to it. I got a lot of great stuff on the way. Logistics is hard right now, man. It's hard because, you know, basketball moves so much faster than football, and they travel so much more. I got a couple basketball guests lined up ready to get on here, and we going to get into the basketball folks, too. You know what I mean? We're going to travel into season 2, but I'm just letting y'all know we do got a couple other football interviews on the way. Very much so. Stay tuned. Make sure y'all liking, commenting, subscribing. Make sure you're hitting the button in the bio. I'm going to throw my man's socials on the post when you guys see him, so make sure you get with him. Like I said, my boy, really appreciate you for coming on here.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, bro. And I'm going to let y'all leave off with that.
I couldn't tell you in person, so I decided to write a song.